Somebody want to explain to me how in the fuck it is it's a bad thing that Donald Trump got Kim Jong-un sitting down at a negotiation table agreeing to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula? I'll wait for somebody to find legitimate fault in what this man did. Oh, that's right. There is no legitimate fault. I forgot. Denuclearization is a great thing. Yep, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, all of them. All the liberal fucking news media. Well, he didn't do enough. He didn't get enough specified. He did this. He did that. Let me explain something to you. For anybody that is actually watching this video, because I know there's not a lot of people. And of the people that do watch it, there might be one, maybe two, who ever served in the Korean Peninsula in the United States military. Because there's no other real fucking reason to go there. We are going to see for the first time since the end of the Korean War, peace. The negotiations are there. The war in North Korea is finally over. It's no longer an armistice, ceasefire, that shit. We are going to see an end to the Korean War after 65 years since the ceasefire was signed at the 38th parallel. We are going to see the remains of our fallen returned and repatriatized to the United States. Something most of you motherfuckers don't care about. But there are loved ones out there still alive that do. Did we have to give up a few things? Well, that's what negotiations are all about. And what's the major thing that the news networks are talking about? We gave up. Oh, that's right. An end to the joint training sessions between the ROK Army, the Republic of Korea, which is South Korea, the ROK Army, and the United States. Because it's going to save us a bunch of money. I'll tell you something else that's going to save us. It's going to save us some lives. The potential risk of losing men in training exercises. See, I was stationed over there when Kim Jong-il was the president of dictator, whatever you want to call him, North Korea. He was a brutal motherfucker. We constantly had to train for the fear of an inevitable attack, chemical, biological, nuclear, or just standard. And we constantly trained for that mission. Our mission was a suicide mission. Whatever the initial readiness company was to go across the bridge of our little camp, travel on up to Freedom Bridge near the JSA, Station 2, fighting vehicles across one side of the bridge and see to the evacuation, while the rest of the guys hooked up the detonators to the explosives already wired to said bridge. And if we didn't have everything done inside of, I believe it was 55 minutes, the vehicles on the northern side of the bridge across the Imjin River would be stranded as they blew the bridge. And I only know this because my track was one of the ones tasked to go across that bridge. And we train for this constantly, 3 a.m. alerts. We go out to Twin Bridges. We go down to MPRC. We went to a couple of other little cool spots where there's little like rivers and beaches and shit like that where we could fuck off for about 5-10 minutes while we weren't actually training, because, you know, we got to have that downtime, especially when you're in the field for 45 days. But these joint training missions, what they like to call war games, or as the military like to call it, warfighter exercise. See, there was a particular warfighter exercise back in March of '99 where they had kept our unit up for the better part of 3 or 4 days. I know because I was in an observation post in a foxhole with Glenn Brink. I was on the M60 machine gun. And this guy who I had flown to Korea with, sat with the man on the plane, Rodney E. Davis, great man, Sergeant First Class, wrote literally the book on a lot of military training. Comes up and sits down next to myself and Specialist Brink, and he says, you know, fellas, we get to go home soon. See, Brink had come there 2 weeks after we did. We're almost out of here, boys. It's March. It's 6 months. Unfortunately, 2 days later, due to negligence by the ROK Army, Republic of Korean Army, Sergeant First Class Davis was killed in a rollover accident where he was either crushed or drowned to death. By the time we pulled his body out, we couldn't tell the difference. Because the South Koreans, during their joint training exercise, worry so much about the quickness of mobility that they don't seem to think to cover their tracks as to where they've been and then expect us to sweep in behind them. So yeah, those fucking warfighter exercises are costly. To give those up really ain't that big a deal. Because at the end of the day, the United States military stationed in South Korea has the exact same training doctrine and exact same, mission load as the Rock Army does. And they train for it daily. Daily. We don't share our time at what they call the KTC, the Korean Training Center, or Multipurpose Range Complex, because the South Korean Army isn't trusted enough to see the inside of our tanks and things of that nature, because the technology in there is too what we call sensitive or classified. We don't need those training missions. If you are a soldier, United States military, or Marine, Navy, Air Force, Army, if you're in the Army, and that's what I can speak to, you know how to call in a fire mission, be it from the air, the mortars, the artillery, or the tanks. You know how to do movement to contact. You know how to work alongside infantry, and you're goddamn sure taught fucking vehicle identification as well as uniform identification so that you don't, in fact, kill a friendly. Why am I bringing all this up? This is what Donald Trump is negotiating to end nuclear weapons and the potential for war on the Korean Peninsula. Yet you fucking liberals will find some kind of fault in it. I know Hillary Clinton wouldn't have been able to do this. In fact, Kim Jong-un would have seen her as being weak and probably would have invaded us and taken us over, and the movie Red Dawn would have come to fruition. To find fault in a man because he wants peace in a region of the world that has seen nothing but unrest since the 50s is ludicrous, ridiculous, and against everything you cocksuckers preach. Y'all are stupid. By nature, dumb, retarded, idiotic, however you want to put it. You don't truly stand by your ideals. You don't truly believe in that bullshit that you spew out. And just so you people who didn't support Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, we would have already been invaded, defeated, and speaking another language by now, because that dude was spineless as all get out. Trump took a hardline stance against Kim Jong-un. It got him to a negotiating table, and now we will see the end of the war on the Korean Peninsula and the denuclearization of the North. The man wants peace, but not only did he speak of it, he acted upon it. And all you guys can do is chastise him for it. But after all, why would we want a president who wants peace in a region as unsettled as that has been for the last more than half century? I mean, that's ludicrous, right? You don't want there to be peace in the Korean Peninsula because Donald Trump negotiated it. Just like we wouldn't want to have a good economy like we have right now in the United States just because Donald Trump is president. Only speaks further to how retarded liberals are. If I had more time and crayons, I'd draw it out for you. But unfortunately, I got better shit to do. Like, thank the good Lord Jesus that Trump had the sense to negotiate what he did at the table yesterday with Kim Jong-un.